Hello friends, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this new episode of In Focus series. In today's episode, we'll be talking about new project that has been inaugurated by our PM, that is Sela Tunnel. Sela Tunnel all-weather link to Tawang. So in this episode, we'll be discussing about few points that is related to first what is the news, and then we'll talk about Sela Tunnel, some specifics, what are the specifics of this tunnel, and then the connectivity at present. What is the connectivity situation right now and how this Sela Tunnel will help us. Okay, afterwards we will be looking at the strategic importance of Tawang. This Tawang region is quite important for us. It is in Arunachal Pradesh and we'll be talking about the importance of Tawang. Okay, afterwards we'll be talking about few challenges that has been addressed by this particular project and the benefits we'll be seeing after this inauguration. Okay, and after that there will be an MCQ. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So the news is related to, or the news related to this particular Sela Tunnel, it was in your Indian Express newspaper, which was an all-weather link to Tawang, how the new Sela Tunnel hosts readiness at China border. Okay, so here specific emphasis is given to the China border because in Arunachal Pradesh, you know that China or Chinese PLA is quite active over there. Okay, so when we are talking about the border areas, our border with China has been divided into three parts. Okay, so we'll be discussing that in the further slides. But right now, with China seeking to claim Tawang as part of larger Tibet. Okay, so China is kind of claiming Tawang region as part of larger Tibet while calling Arunachal Pradesh as the southern Tibet. Okay, so in Arunachal Pradesh, this particular area Tawang, which has been claimed by China as part of the Tibet area. And when we are talking about Arunachal Pradesh itself, China is trying to put their claim, calling it as part of your southern Tibet. Okay, so basically these two areas, why these two areas are important for China, we'll be discussing in the further slides. But right now the news is that the Sela Tunnel will boost the connectivity between, you can say, Tezpur to Tawang. Okay, and we'll see why Tawang is important in the further slides. So here in the in this picture you can see we have divided the LAC, line of actual control. Okay, so basically when we are talking about China, we have this LAC, line of actual control. When we are talking about Pakistan, we have LOC, line of control. Okay, so basically this LAC is not demarcated. Okay, it's not a fixed line or it's not actually marketed on the maps. Okay, so because of which there are certain you can say disputed areas. Okay, after 1962 war also there were certain areas which has been illegally occupied by the China, and since then this issue has been in the news. Okay, so here you can see this red marked areas like Saichen and some areas in the southern part like you can say from the Despang Plains, Galwan Valley, Pangong Tso Lake. There are certain hotspot areas where China has trying to put their assertiveness. Okay, so because of which these areas has been in news. Afterwards, this is the western sector. Okay, so it is in the western part of the LAC, so it is western sector. Then we have the central sector. Okay, in your Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand area. So that is basically your central sector. Okay, there are less areas which are disputed here because most of the area in this sector is inhabited by people. Okay, so people know their territory, people know their village boundaries, etc. That is why it is not much disputed. But these areas, okay, these are remote areas, and because of which there is issue of patrolling, there is issue of demarcation. Okay, so that is why we will see that there are more and more aggression like activities which has been seen in these areas. Okay, afterwards, coming to the eastern sector, this area of Arunachal Pradesh, here you can see this is your eastern sector which has been in news because China keeps doing some raids in this sector. Okay, now why Arunachal Pradesh is important, why this sector of Tawang is important, which we will be seeing in the further slides. Okay, now coming to the recent project, that is Sela Tunnel. Okay, so here you can see the Sela Tunnel, which has been dedicated to ration by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday, March 9th, is a key border infrastructure project. Okay, so it has been developed by, or you can say built by, the Border Road Organization, that is BRO. Okay, so BRO is an organization which is looking for the border connectivity in the border areas. Okay, So, or you can say the road connectivity in the border area, so that the movement of the troops can be done smoothly in the event of any kind of crisis or war. Okay. Now coming to the aim to provide all weather or all round year connectivity from Guwahati to Tawang. Earlier I told you that from Tezpur to Tawang, ultimately here you can say this is Tezpur, and then this is Tawang sector, and this somewhere here we have this Sela Tunnel. Ultimately this from Tezpur to you can connect to Guwahati, and then from Guwahati you can connect to the important Siliguri corridor. You must have heard about it, Siliguri corridor, or if you have not, then you can go and check. If you know that, you can tell me in the comment section. So here ultimately, to have a connectivity from this Siliguri corridor, this Sela Tunnel is important, because from Siliguri you can connect to Guwahati, Guwahati to Tezpur, and Tezpur to Sela Tunnel. When we are talking about Tezpur, you can say that it is a headquarter of our army base in this particular area. Okay. So now that is why this particular tunnel, which is connecting us to the Tawang sector, becomes important. Okay. In case of any kind of activity which is happening on the LAC, in the eastern sector of LAC, or you can say Tawang sector, so this particular tunnel will reduce the travel time. That is why it is important. Okay. Now here you can say that it is for the faster military movement to the line of control. Okay, line of actual control. It is constructed by BRO at a cost of 825 crore. Okay, 825 crore, and it is at the altitude of nearly 13,000 feet. Okay. So these are certain specifics which are related to Sela Tunnel, which can be important for you from your prelims examination point of view. So you can go through it. Okay. So here you can say Sela Tunnel basically connects your Tezpur to Tawang, or in large you can say from Guwahati to Tawang. Okay. Now coming to the next part, that is the connectivity in the present time. We have two routes, that is one Balipara-Chariduar-Tawang, that is BTC route. Okay. So here you can say that this is basically your Tezpur. From here this route is basically your first route which they are talking about, that is Balipara, Charidwar and Tawang route. Okay. The second route is Orang, Kalaktan, Sergaon, Rupa and Tenga. Okay. So here another route is from here, you can say from Tezpur to this side you can go through, and then this is some place, or you can say Bomdila, or you can say this is the area where these two routes meet, or you can say directly if they go through this route they can directly meet at Sela only. Okay. So ultimately these are the routes which are present there. This is not important from your exam point of view, but just to tell you that there is already existing routes, and now Sela will become the alternative route to that, and that will reduce the travel time as well. Okay. Now these two routes meet at Sela Pass and merge into one route that leads to Tawang. Here you can see that will meet somewhere here in the Bomdila, or you can say they can meet here at the Sela as well, and then to Tawang. Okay. Now there are plans to construct two alternative routes. One of them is still on the documents. Okay, and second is your Sela Tunnel route. Okay. Now here you can see this is your Tezpur area, and then from Tezpur to Tawang we have this Sela Pass here. Okay, and other than that we have this Sela Lake as well. Okay. So if they ask you in the exam if where this Sela Lake is located, that is in the Arunachal Pradesh area. Okay, and then by that Sela Pass we are passing through this particular tunnel. Okay. So this is the larger picture. Here you can see this is your Brahmaputra river. I will tell you the significance of Brahmaputra in the further slides. Okay. So because of this Brahmaputra, okay, this Arunachal Pradesh area and this Tawang section becomes important for China as well as India. Okay. Now coming to the further slide, that is strategic importance. Here we will be talking about why Tawang is important for India as well as China. Okay. Now Tawang holds historical and strategic significance, being contested between China and India. Okay. As I told you, China is saying that that is larger, you can say part of larger Tibet. Okay. Other than that, China's claims over Tawang highlights the strategic importance, necessitating a strong military presence. Okay. So both of the countries have a strong military presence in this area. We are trying to build infrastructure so that we can mobilize our troops in a faster manner and a smooth manner. Geographical access to the Brahmaputra plain and vital communication lines adds to Tawang's specific, or you can say Tawang's significance. Okay. So these communication lines are basically connecting Tawang to Guwahati. So that is why it is important. Second thing, it is important because of the Brahmaputra plains. Okay, so let's see why it is important from the Brahmaputra point of view. See, this is the course of Brahmaputra. It is starting somewhere in Tibet, okay, and then it is moving in the easternward section, and then to entering into India from somewhere here. Okay, now most of the section here, this section is basically in the Tibet, or you can say China of the day. Okay, now nearly you can say more than 60% of the course is in China, but the thing is the water storage in this area is very poor, because here you can see that it is quite a hilly area. Okay, so because of the slope etc., the water retention here is very less. Okay, because of which when it enters to India, and because in India we have this you can say lower altitude, or you can say we have the plains, because of which water storage is high in Indian part. Okay, so in this area here you can see this little bit of bluish area, basically it is a low lying area, and because of which water retention is high. So though the 60% of the course is in China, still they cannot use the Brahmaputra's water. Okay, and that water comes to Arunachal Pradesh. This is the part of Arunachal Pradesh here. Okay, and here this is your Tawang section. So because they want to utilize the water of Brahmaputra for themselves, and that is why the Arunachal Pradesh sector becomes important for them. Okay, China has a you can say population of nearly 70% of the world population. That is the population of China. Okay, and when we are talking about the water resources of China, these are nearly 6 to 7% of the world, and that is why China, you can say, it is a water scarce country. Okay, other than that also, when we are talking about the western and the southern part of China, it is even more water scarce, and that is why Arunachal Pradesh area becomes important for them. Okay, so that is the role of Brahmaputra, or you can say there is a term which is attached to it, that is hydro diplomacy. Okay, so basically because of the Brahmaputra river and their water flow, their water storage, this area becomes important for them. Okay, other than that also, when we are looking at China, China has this expansionist tendency, and because of which it has this tendency to go for aggressions, to go for raids in this particular section. Okay, now other than that, Tawang has cultural as well as religious importance. Okay, when we are talking about Buddhism, you know that it is birthplace of 6th Dalai Lama. Okay, so because of which after Lhasa, it is quite important that Tawang is related to Buddhism, and in that particular religion it has a cultural significance. Okay, now coming to the next portion, which this we have discussed, and now challenges addressed and benefits. Okay, so because of which one thing we have reduced the travel time. Okay, second thing is militarily it is also important for us. Okay, now here you can say we have overcome obstacles posed by adverse weather conditions like foggy stretches and snow by reducing travel hindrance to Tawang. So basically when we are talking about this foggy stretches and snow, when we are talking about this Sela Tunnel, basically Sela has the problem of snow capping. Okay, because of which this route is you can say obstructed. Okay, but after this tunnel we will have all weather connectivity. Other than that, when we are talking about this foggy stretch, so there is another you can say pass here, that is basically Nechipu Pass. Okay, so this Nechipu Pass is basically obstructed by this foggy stretches. Okay, so that is why this particular tunnel becomes important. Sela, as well as we have this project of Nechipu Tunnel as well, which has been earlier launched by our defense minister. Okay, so combining these two projects, we can say that they have reduced the distance by nearly 10 to 15 kilometers. Second thing is, when these obstructions like fog and snow are reduced, because of which travel time will also reduce. Okay, now enhance operation preparedness by along the LAC, saving travel time for convoys and aiding quick military mobilization, that we have discussed already. Provides a reliable route compared to the previous options, ensuring better access to bordering Tawang sector. Previous options has this problem of fog and snow, and that is why this is more reliable a route. Okay, part of border efforts to strengthen connectivity in the region, joining other recent projects like Nechipu Tunnel. Okay, aids in providing all-weather access to Tawang, bypassing terrain obstacles and reducing travel distances. All these things are same. The crux of the matter is that they will provide you a reduced distance, a reduced travel time. Okay, and from the military point of view, this is also important because it will help us mobilize troops very easily. Okay, now coming to the some passes which has been discussed in the news article, which can be important for you because there are chances that UPSC might ask you these passes. When we are talking about the existing route from Guwahati to then Tezpur and then to Tawang, there are 3 to 4 passes which are important. That is, one is your Sela Pass, which we have discussed, and on which we have this Sela Tunnel. Then we have Bomdila, okay, so that is also important. Then we have this Nechifu Pass, okay. So on this Nechifu Pass, we have another tunnel, okay. Because of this Sela Tunnel, the travel distance has been reduced by 10 kilometers. Because of this particular Nechifu, it has reduced by 5 kilometers. Together, if we see, total there is a reduction of 15 kilometer distance, which will be 1 hour of distance basically, okay. But this is important because if there is a fog or if there is a snow cap, that 1 hour might lead to days, okay. So that is why this has been important, okay. So we have discussed all these things. Now coming to the practice questions. So basically in this particular discussions, we have come to know about few things about Sela Tunnel, which is important for you. Other than that, we have talked about the strategic importance of Tawang. We have talked about why China is assertive about Arunachal Pradesh and Tawang section, and why these incidents are less in Himachal and Uttarakhand area, and why these are more in Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh area, okay. So all these things becomes important for you from your examination point of view. Now let's come to the practice question. What is the primary purpose of Sela Tunnel project? Options are given: providing all-weather connectivity from Guwahati to Tawang, enhancing tourism in Arunachal Pradesh, supporting agriculture development in Assam, and D is promoting trade between India and China. So you have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. If you have any kind of doubt, you can put your doubt in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.